sports fans, Judd Spicer with City Pages Sports. We're here at the St. Paul Curling Club this evening. This is actually the largest curling club in the country. We've got the Olympics now underway, so we're going to take a little closer look at the sport. Actually, for the Team USA men's curling team, every member is from Minnesota. And one of the members, this is his home club right here. It's actually the home club for one of the ladies on the women's team as well. So take a gander with us here, and we're going to learn a little bit about the sport of curling tonight, so we can enjoy a little bit more in the Olympic experience.
And go.
Now we're on the ice here at the St. Paul Curling Club. Here with the skipper, longtime member here, nearly 15 years.
Yep.
He's going to show us some of the finer points of the game of curling. Maybe if you just want to start by explaining some of the basic rules and tools of the game.
Yep, absolutely. We're here on a sheet of ice. It's about 46 yards long. We have these stones behind the area here, 8 for each team. We have teams of 4. Each person on a team throws 2 rocks alternating with the other team. So we, one end, that's what we call rounds, is where both teams shoot all 8 of their stones down to the other end. So, as you can see here, on each end of the ice, we have what's called the house. These 3 concentric circles here, very center known as the button. So you're trying to get eventually you're trying to get as many of yours as close to the very center there, closer than your opponent's nearest stone. So, you alternate. In our first end, we go down to that end. After that end is complete, we throw back down to this end, and that'll be the second end. Back and forth. We play a total of 8 ends, and that's the game, unless it's tied, in which we go to an extra end.
Okay. Now, the first time I saw curling on television, and we just watched you guys play a little bit, but I saw the maniacal sweeping motion, and I was very confused. Maybe you can explain the name of this tool and what is the purpose, I guess, of this tool.
I could do that. This is known as the broom. There's no fancy title to it. They used to be known as brushes when hair was used on the broom. Now it's just this kind of nylon surface, which is what most people use. Back in the old days, they actually used corn straw brooms, but you hardly ever see those anymore. Okay. So the purpose of the broom here is when the thrower throws, they may have not thrown it hard enough, or they may have thrown it so that when it goes down the ice, they kind of curve as they go down the ice. If they're curving too much, that's also where the sweeping might come in. And what happens is when you do the sweeping on the ice like this, you kind of create this little, almost like a little micro melt on the ice where there's this very thin film of water there. And where there's water, there's less friction. Right? So the stones are going to slide further. So that's how you add, anywhere from 6 to 12 feet to stones that have been thrown light. Okay. Or you can kind of keep the rocks straight if they're curling too much.
Okay. Silly question, perhaps, but you melt the ice and it refreezes
almost instantly.
Okay.
See, what happens at the beginning of the game is this isn't a completely flat ice surface here. They scrape it, but then they sprinkle all these droplets all over the ice, known as the pebble. So it starts out wet and then it instantly freezes once they do that, creating this kind of a bumpy surface on the ice.
Yeah.
That's because if the ice were perfectly flat, the rocks would never go down to the other end. They'd have too much to grip on. Okay. So the pebble gives them something to ride on. So what you're kind of doing when you sweep is you're just kind of wearing down that pebble, and just ever so quickly it melts it, lets it slide over a little faster, and then refreezes. Okay. The ice is never in danger of completely melting when we do that.
We mentioned here before that every member of the men's Olympic team is of Minnesota, and one of the members belongs to St. Paul Curling Club. Is the surface that we see here, is this going to be identical to the Olympic surface in Vancouver?
Well, fundamentally yes,
okay. But
at the Olympics you're going to have really high-profile ice makers who are experts in their field. They measure the temperature of the ice constantly, and they make little adjustments, and they just have a lot of international experience making ice. So theoretically, it's better ice than here. But you know, fundamentally, it's just the same type of thing where they sprinkle the pebble at the beginning of the game and they curl.
Okay.
I would normally yell, or the person down on the other end would normally yell, it's a little too much, or sweep, or whatever.
Is it normal to be winded? Because I'm like a little winded. So
Well,
maybe it's just me.
As the skip, I don't sweep as much as the other players,
Good.
but they sweep, many, many rocks a game, so, you can really break a sweat doing this, Anybody who tells you that curling isn't a physical sport, they just don't know what they're talking about. It's a myth.
Well, let me try to throw one here.
Okay.
You can show me what I can do.
Right-handed. You put your pack there, and we'll see how this goes.
Alright.
There you go. So, in the case of this stone,
Lame snow.
but it's your first rock ever, so I've seen a lot worse for the first rock ever. But in a real game situation, they have to make it at least to that blue line, which is known as the hog line,
Alright.
in order to stay in place. So if this were a real game, that would be taken off.
Okay. It's a little light on
Yeah.
the throw. Yeah.
And sweeping can only do so much.
Yeah. Like what you said about at 10 feet is the max
Right.
it can bring it.
Right. So next time, a little bit harder, and you be in the field of play and be ready to go.
Okay. Why don't somebody sweep take one more crack at it if that's all right.
Okay.
I feel like I'm a better sweeper than them.
Should we go back here?
Oh, I touched it.
See, that is a no-no.
Can't touch it.
Now, if that were a real game, that's what's known as a burned rock.
Alright.
And that would be immediately taken out of play. Do not touch the rock with any part of your broom or your body or anything.
Nope.
But for our purposes, good sweeping. Got it in the house.
Yeah.
We're both happy.
We'll try one more shot at slinging it down there. Curling it down there.
Yeah, that's what you want to do. Get it right in the middle of your first and second. You're in the club there.
Alright, well, a little curling lesson here, Skipper, here at the St. Paul Curling Club. The men's team coming off of bronze in the last Olympics.
That's true.
I believe, so we'll hope for some medals from both the men and the women. Thank you, Judd Spicer with City Pages. Thank the Skipper for their time. Enjoy the Olympics.